Once upon a time, Kareem was a microbiologist and spent her days in a research lab. Little did she know that destiny had a different plan for her. Now, she's not only a speaker, author, leadership trainer, but also a champion for leadership and inspiration. It just goes to show sometimes life takes you from petri dishes to performance stages. And that's where the real magic happens. She's won multiple awards as a high-performance athlete for over 20 years. Born in Colombia, Kareem is passionate about training leaders to reach the next level of success in their lives and businesses, to make a difference in their communities, and to have a positive impact in the world, both in English and Spanish. Please welcome Kareem Raymond.
Let the dogs out.
Welcome. Thank you.
So imagine it's a crisp early morning. The sun is shining through the trees, and the air is full with this fresh smell of nature. And the birds are singing in the background. It is the perfect setting for a run, right? So I am very excited. I am lacing up my shoes because I'm going to go to the park. Because I'm ready to take up the world. Or at least the park. So I start running, and after a few minutes, I see this 70-something-year-old guy passing me by. And I look and I say, oh, I'm sure he's been doing this for some years. So then I keep jogging, and then a bunch of kids fly by. They're chatting, they're laughing like running is nothing. And I'm there, struggling, trying to keep up my pace. And then people keep passing me by. And I'm just really having a bad time. That happens every single day I go into the park. So I'm really having a bad time. And I feel disheartened even. Some days I'm like, why do I even try? So one of these days, I'm about to quit. Because I know what's going to happen once I get to that park. I'm going to see that old guy passing me by. And then at some point, I was expecting that maybe an old lady with a walker was going to pass by and say goodbye. And I wasn't even able to pass her. But then I just think to myself, I'm not a quitter. In fact, I've been an athlete for 20 years, so I have to find a way to stick to it. And what I decided is that I was going to stop looking who was passing me by. I was going to start tracking my own times. Yeah. I was having such a hard time, so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to focus on that. I'm going to track every day. And every time I'm going to start looking for someone, because of course they're going to pass me by, I'm going to say out loud, Kareem, look at your own shoes. That was my reminder. So what ended up happening is that every day I would see my own time, and it was better. See, I've been working with leaders for almost 15 years, and they battle every day with that little voice in their head that tells them, who do you think you are? That is not important anyways. It's not that big. You don't deserve to be here. Or even, they're going to find you're faking it, you're a fraud. Some people call that the monkey mind. Other ones call it the imposter syndrome. In Colombia, we have this saying, some of us call it la loca de arriba, the crazy woman upstairs. And Michelle was even saying, she says, cucarachas en la cabeza, cockroaches in your head. Right? And then what happens with that little voice, I call it the hidden enemy, is that it has many successful people taming down what they have accomplished, and playing small, and wanting, for some reason, to be modest and the word to speak for them because it seems safer. I'm just curious to know if anyone here has heard that crazy lady upstairs. Okay. Right? So you see, so you just have seen that hidden enemy at play. Now that you've seen it, would you want to know what's the antidote, the green kryptonite, I don't even know if that's the way to pronounce it, to that enemy? Yeah. Okay. So it is the habit of celebration. Celebrating every win that you decide is a win. And celebration has a great impact because it shifts the focus from what you have not done to what you have accomplished. And once you do that, it just turns down that voice. It has you accessing something that's called personal pride and feeling secure about yourself, feeling confident. There is even a lot of scientific research saying or proving the importance and the benefits of celebration. For example, it increases your dopamine levels. And also, it has your body experiencing success. Because when you don't do it, you just forget it, and then you keep feeling you're a loser. On the other side, another benefit is that increases productivity. Because whenever you do something that makes you feel good, you want to do it more, you want to do it better. So that's another benefit of celebrating your success. Even Oprah Winfrey has openly shared that she has a habit of gratitude on a constant basis. Richard Branson also celebrates his milestones with the team. So when leaders acquire the habit of celebration, they emanate a vibration that attracts followers and attracts people who want to be impacted by those leaders. Now, how can you implement that habit into your life? So I'm going to share a couple of things that I do in my life. The first one is that I have designed a celebration box. So what do we do is I took this box, I painted it with my 5-year-old skills of an artist. And then I have it by my desk. So every time I accomplish something that I want to recognize myself, I just write it down on a little piece of paper and I put it in that box. When I travel, I just fill out the papers, and then once I get home, I put it back. And there are some times where I feel like a loser, which is pretty often. And what I do is I open that box, I pull up a bunch of papers, and I just read them, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not such a loser. So it's just a reminder, right? And then at the end of the year, on December 31st, I take some time for my own, and I take that box, and I go over every single thing that I've accomplished throughout that year. So that's one of those that I do. The second one that I do is that I created a celebration playlist. So I have songs that, pump me up. And when I have something that is worth for me, the celebration, what I do is I put my AirPods or my headphones on. I go into the closet, I put the volume up, and I just listen to my songs, right? Sometimes it could even be, today I looked myself in the mirror and I smiled. And sometimes it could be, I have a new client. Or this client paid again this month. And what I do, right, that's something to celebrate. So one of the songs, my favorite songs, is this one. I'm going to try to see. I don't sing, but in the closet it sounds good. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. that tonight's gonna be a good, good night. So that's what I do when I go into the closet. So if you can tell, having these kind of things in your life, these kind of habits, it really would support you deciding what you celebrate. So let's go back to that Karim that I told you at the beginning that was struggling in the park because everybody and their mother was passing her. At the time, she had already finished her second degree. She had already learned English as a second language. She had graduated magna cum laude from her US degree. She's had a valuable scholarship into the US, and she still felt like a loser. And when I realized every time, like when I started that practice of, Karim, look at your own shoes, is that the only person that I wanted to acknowledge myself, it was me. And that is the very reason why I wrote the book, Use Your Bragging Rights. Because I wanted to first recognize myself for what I have done, and also to inspire other people to do the same. And that happened with many of my clients. For example, Armando. He came here into the US illegally when he was 16 years old. And after 30 years, he had developed a $3 million business. Wow. And he was ashamed of telling his story. And Mariela, a very successful newscaster and journalist, had been awarded 27 Emmys. And had been acknowledged in 2021 as a woman of influence in the state of Georgia. And she said, I have nothing to provide with my personal brand. Or even Diana, a woman that I met after a conference that I had in Colombia in a very impoverished area, that came afterwards and told me, you know what, I'm the first person in my family who finished college. So it doesn't matter where you are. What it matters is you look at your own shoes, and that you recognize and you acknowledge yourself in the best way for you to remember. Because sometimes we do forget what we do. Sometimes we do expect someone else to say it, and even if they say it, we don't believe it. So that's my invitation. For you to create your own habit of celebration. And if you do it, share with me. Because that's the reason why I do what I do. So who here would want to create their own habit of celebration? Okay, so I'm going to be waiting for you to share that. Thank you.